Good afternoon, students. We are looking at Block 4, Unit 13 of the Business Environment, and the topics which we are going to discuss are as follows: product safety and liability, political environment, legal environment, protecting business agreements, government's role in society, taxes, tax incentives, and government policies towards business. Let's look at each one of them in detail. Government policies, intellectual property, property that results from people's intellectual talent and abilities. Industrial property includes patents and trademarks. Copyrights give creators of original works the freedom to publish or dispose of them as they choose. The problem is that laws in some countries are softer than in others. Product safety and liability. Product liability holds manufacturers, sellers, and others, including individual company officers, responsible for damage, injury, or death caused by defective products. The United States has the toughest product liability laws in the world, followed by Europe. Enforcement of product liability laws differs from nation to nation. Political environment. The political environment constitutes all the factors related to the government affairs, such as type of government in power, attitude of government towards different groups of societies, policy changes implemented by different governments, etc. The political environment has immediate and great impact on the business transactions, so businessmen must scan this environment very carefully. The businessman has to make changes in his organization according to the changing factor of political environment. For example, in 1977, when Janata government came into power, they made the policy of sending back all the foreign companies. As a result, the Coca-Cola company had to close its business and leave the country. The common factors and forces which have influenced the Indian political environment are: the government in Hyderabad is taking keen interest in boosting IT industry. As a result, the state is most commonly known as Cyberabad instead of Hyderabad. After the economic policy of liberalization and globalization, the foreign companies got easy entry in India. As a result, the Coca-Cola, which was sent back in 1977, came back to India, along with Coca-Cola, Pepsi-Cola, and many other foreign companies are establishing their business in India. Some aspects of the political environment: present political system, constitution of the country, profile of political leaders, government intervention in business, foreign policy of government, values and ideology of political parties. Legal environment. The legal environment constitutes the laws and various legislations passed by in the parliament. The businessman cannot overlook the legislations because he has to perform his business transactions within the framework of the legal environment. The common legislation passed which has affected the business transactions are Trademark Act, Essential Commodity Act, Weight and Measures Act, etc. Most of the time, legal environment puts constraints on the businessman, but sometimes they provide opportunities too. The common instances of Indian legal environment which have influenced business transactions recently are: deregulation of capital market has made it easy for businessmen to collect capital from primary market. Removal of control from foreign exchange and liberalization in investment. Google, Geo Telecom, Infosys. Protecting business agreements, contract, a legally enforceable agreement between two or more parties. It can be written, verbal, or by handshake. Breach of contract, when one party fails to live up to the terms of the contract. What kind of contract is easiest to prove a breach of contract occurred? Copyright, the legal right of artists to own their creations, can last up to 70 years until after the original creator's death. Patent, legal grant for the sole right to own an invention, lasts for 20 years after inventor filed application in accordance with the Intellectual Property Right Act of 1957 in India. Trademark, a name, symbol, or characteristic that identifies a product, cannot be copied if registered appropriately. Regulating the production process. The government regulates the production process by passing laws that protect the environment and workers. The Central Drug Standard Control Organization (CDSCO) regulates the manufacturing and sale of drugs in India. Government's role in society. One of the government's main roles is to provide goods and services for citizens using the tax monies. They provide key services to the public, goods, services like water treatment plants and national defense, provided with revenue, income that government gets from all sources. Some goods provided through privatization. When a business offers a public good or service, one of government main role is to provide goods and services for citizens using tax money. They provide distribution of income, ensures the well-being of citizens, transfer payments to ensure money is given to people at times of need. Example, unemployment, social security, veterans benefits, FERA, Foreign Exchange Regulation Act. One of the government's major role is to provide goods and services using tax money. They provide jobs. More than 3 million people work for the state government. State and local governments employ millions of people. One of government's main role is to provide goods and services for citizens using tax monies. They provide incentives to business people, medium and small medium enterprise (MSME), encourages development of small businesses and offer advice and loans. Subsidies, monetary grants given to producers or consumers to encourage certain behaviors, benefiting the public. How the government is funded, an amount of money people, businesses pay governments to help run the nation, state, country, city, or town. Each level of government collects taxes for different kinds of services, sharing the cost among many people. Tax incentive, a temporary reduction or elimination of a tax that is meant to encourage or discourage an activity. Promote specific economic or social objectives. Resources are allocated in best ways and government spending affects the distribution of income. So, with this, we come to the end of Unit 13. Thanks for giving me a patient hearing.